I'm back. Yep, it's so great to be back in Bethesda. We just recently moved from Bethesda to Columbia Heights. I gotta tell you, Columbia Heights is so cool. I mean, we have our own mascot. Have you seen it? It's in the subway station right above the escalator right before you go out. It is a vaping panda. No lie, it's there. Check it out, a vaping panda. But I gotta tell you, it's not perfect in Columbia Heights. I mean, Bobby and I, people with a little bit of weather on us, not exactly loved all the places in Columbia Heights. There are bars and restaurants there that do not allow people over the age of 60 unless accompanied by their children. Do you know where I can score a fake ID? I may just use my son's. I get it. You see this gray hair, this expanding, well, everything, and I'm perpetually cranky. You look at me as if I'm old. Well, I submit to you that I could also possibly be hip. No, really, bear with me here. So, you'll agree that retro glasses are hip, right? Yeah? And retro hat, clothes, shoes, facial hair, right? Hip. Why not a retro body? What, not ironic enough for you? Well, I do admit, I am much more Kmart than I am retro. But it is such a fine line between being old, and hip. I love that, old and hip. I mean, so if you think that hooking up means having lunch, you're probably old. And I gotta tell you, I found out the hard way. I asked my new secretary if she wanted to hook up for lunch. Did not go well. And that conversation with HR, whoo. Now, back there, if you've used the Tinder app, but have you used it to try to start a fire? If you have, you're probably old, but I gotta tell you, I don't care how hot she is, all that swiping, she is not gonna light on fire. This is really gonna figure out just how old you are. If the first time you bought marijuana, it was called Mary Jane or reefer, you are definitely old. But I can tell you, it is so embarrassing. You go up to some dude, thinking he's a pusher, he's a pimp. And he looks at you and he says, son, you can rent Mary Jane by the hour, but you can't buy her. I ain't no slaver. Now, have you ever used a vibrator for a stiff neck? Old. You know, if you take pictures with a camera, you're probably old. If your son, who partied so hard in college that he almost flunked out, can't hang with you because he's got work the next day, you're probably old. You know, why is it we work so hard to raise strong, independent, reliable adults, and then just when we're ready to let down what's left of our hair, they become strong, independent, reliable adults? Well, I'm hoping you've had half as much fun today as I have. And I am so glad that you came. Oh shit, I think I screwed up. I'm sorry. You know, I always get this wrong. I'm never certain if I'm supposed to say, hey, thanks for coming when you first got here, or hey, thanks for coming when you leave. I mean, like if you come over to my house, Do I say, hey, come on in, thanks for coming? Or do I say, so glad you came, right? Well, what if I worked in a sperm bank? Thank you for coming when you arrive, or, Well, I am so glad you came tonight. In the words of the immortal Mae West, it has been a business doing pleasure with you. Thank you very much.
Keep it going for Mark Palchick, you guys. All right, our next comic